how's it going, everybody? My name is Vic.
And my name is David.
And we are your hosts of the V.D.R podcast. What is really good?
What's really good, world? What's really good, America? What's really good? You know, we got an important topic, a hot topic today, a serious topic today, and we're going to be exposing these freaking pedo demons. That's what they are, these satanic pedo demons. But yeah, that's a great topic today. I can't wait.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Today is episode 48 on the 3 million plus Epstein file that has been released by the Department of Justice of these United States. Hey, before we get started, please go to our YouTube channel, the V.D.R podcast. Please press that subscribe, like, and share. Share with a friend. Comment, tell us where you're here, where you're calling from. Go on Apple, on Spotify. We are in audio. Please press that follow. You will never miss an episode. Also, check out our website on vdrpodcast.podbean.com. You'll never miss an episode there as well.
Praise the Lord.
Without further ado, episode 48.
Episode 48. The Epstein Files. This thing, let me tell you something right now. This is this topic right now. This is a hot topic going on right now. This thing is all over social media. It's such a hot topic that even Fox News, NBC, mainstream media has no choice to start promoting this, to start putting this on the news because of this whole Epstein list. This thing is big. A lot of things been going on. I don't know about you, but first thing first, this thing has been going on since what? For a long time now, actually. Since the 90s, probably longer, for all we know. You know what I'm saying, right?
Yeah, man.
This whole thing that's
has
going
been
on
uncovered
Epstein Island,
in the last 20-something years. It's finally been uncovered. Yeah.
This whole thing that's going on Epstein Island, man. So, you know, the list, right? That's what everybody wants to know. The list. Who's on the list? You know, what's going on? So apparently, this thing has got to the point that it was so bad. Let me tell you something. You know The View, Whoopi Goldberg. You know The View, right? You know their show, The View?
Oh, yeah.
Bro, it was so bad. And this is how you can I'm sorry to say it. Obviously, you know, this it got so bad that Whoopi Goldberg had to talk. Oh, you know, because her name was on that list. Whoopi Goldberg was on that list, right? And you know what she was saying? She was saying, well, you know, Whoopi was like, well, you know, listen, you know, because I'm associated with him, it's not like I never, you know what she said? It's not like I dated the guy or anything, right? And then, you know, they said, also, basically, you know, if you're on the list, that doesn't mean you're guilty or not. What there is true to that, you know, that doesn't mean just because you're on the list, everybody's guilty.
You have to be convicted in the court of law.
Exactly. Yeah. But that right there, okay. But you know what? It's a good way to protect yourself. I already saw what she was doing, you know, because she wasn't comfortable with that. Because if you watch The View, she was not really comfortable talking about it. It's like, because it's such a hot topic, you have to talk about it at this point. Mm-hmm. You know, what you think, before we move on, what you think, Ann?
I think, yes, in that specific thing you're talking about, she kind of gave, like, herself away in regard. You know how she's so, like, we're not going to talk about, this is not about politics, but people like her have the TDS and Trump derangement syndrome.
Dude.
And now, because now she's like, wait, hold on. Mm-hmm. She's saying the same thing that other people who's listed are now saying it. And obviously Donald Trump had said this. He said that. He goes, yeah, I'm on his list, but I was not associated. Then later came out, he was an informant for the FBI trying to get this dirtbag. You know, the difference is he was trying to get the dirtbag, and people like Whoopi and others on that list turned a blind eye, knew what was going on. You know what I learned in the Army? My old sergeant majors tell me, back in the day when I was in the military, they make you stand outside in this cold ass weather, and you're out there parade arrest with no jacket on, and it's snowing, it's like 20 degrees. Sergeant major's giving a safety briefing for the weekend, right? And Sergeant Major will always say when he's giving a safety briefing, if your buddy is doing something bad and you don't do nothing about it or you don't say something, it's just as bad as doing the wrong thing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what these people listed, whether they're powerful politicians, businessmen, women,
Yes.
celebrities, musicians. If you know what's going on, you turn the blind eye, it's just as bad. And that's the old grandma, saying right there. It's just as bad.
Yes. Now let's talk. I want to let's touch on this. Speaking about the list, it was on the news today. Today was on the news, right? Yeah. Prince Andrew. We all knew he was on the list. Everybody knew that Prince Andrew was associated with Epstein.
That video,
him and
undeniable.
Epstein were like tight, bro. He was on that. We all knew he was on that island. We even have victims. Remember those Remember one of the victims that came out and said that Prince Andrew was on. She even and they he tried to deny it that he had no association. He tried to deny that he had no association.
Until that video got released.
But when that video got released, not only the video got released and his name was on the list, it got so bad that today he actually got arrested.
Today. What's today? February 19th.
He got arrested today.
Wow.
Prince Andrew, the brother of the current king of the UK, King Charles, right now, right?
Yeah.
His brother, Prince Andrew, who's part of the royal family. Listen. I'm glad he got arrested, but personally, that's not enough for me. Until I see what's gonna go on, prosecute. That shit's all talk. That shit's pressure at this point. That's great. All right, I want to see, but I'm just telling you, that's how bad it got. This is how bad. That's just one person right there.
I actually want to see people get actually investigated by the FBI because that's their jurisdiction. They need to start investigating, man. They need to investigate.
Exactly.
Start investigating, and if the evidence lead to arrest, start making public arrests.
Speaking of FBI, I'm glad you said that. FBI director, Mr. Cash, you need to do your job, sir. Yes, somebody need to put that dude in his place. He needs to do his job. This ain't about now. He needs to do his job because he was also part of the whole redacting. He's part of delay. He was delaying this thing too. He needs to do his job. Why do you think they were scolding him, bro?
Why do you think Don Bongino was so PO'd, bro? He was pissed off. He was PO'd.
He left. He had to leave, bro.
He was PO'd about what was happening.
Bro,
he was.
That's what I'm talking about. It's like that's why this guy Cash, the FBI director. I'm sorry to say, I'm starting to think these people think we're stupid. I really believe that these politicians, all these people, these high people, these people really think we're dumb. They think the average American person is stupid. They think they could go with their little fancy words, they use all these words. Like, bro, at this point, I'm sorry, FBI Director Cash, this is me. The guy was making excuses at this point. All I heard was excuses. When he was being questioned about, do you believe, they were asking about the list. How many times you had the list? What's going on with the list? He was saying a bunch of big words like they all do. It's like, bro, no, you were delaying it. You were part of delaying it. You know why I'm saying this? This has nothing to do with being left and right, bro. This has nothing to do with being MAGA. Has nothing to do with being a Democrat or Republican at this point. This thing is serious. What is your take on that?
Yeah, I think when it comes down to protecting America's children, it should be non-negotiable, no matter what political affiliation you have. And I used to work in the military intelligence command before, and we had to work in partnership with the 3-letter agencies. FBI was one of them, right, and the Pentagon and all that, and all that cool stuff. But I understand when he's getting interrogated by the House committee or the Senate or whatever. I understand there's things that are confidential or classified that he can't talk about.
Yeah.
But I wish, this is my wish, sometimes when you ask a 3-year-old, were you wrong? You know, the 3-year-old says yes. Yes, if you say it plainly, put the problem out there. Stop worrying about how it's going to make you look. Once you get the problem out there, address it now. Let's just address it. Be adults, address the problem, because now we have to protect America's children. You know, I feel bad for the victims because now they're all grown up, these victims, right?
Yeah.
Like, all we could do is, you know, have compassion upon them, right? And hope that they get justice here in the earth. But we serve a God that he always gets the judge. You know, he will vindicate us. But we have to just protect our children and just get out of the way. Just say what it is and go do it. Totally understand that our president and the administration wants to move on from this because they are trying to tackle some big, heavy things.
I agree.
I get it. But we have to address this and, you know, just have your people do their job at the end of the day. Do your job as the law enforcement of our country and go after these dirtbags. Plain out and simple.
I got to get to Pam Bundy. I got to get to her. I know everybody has different opinions on her. But, Aunt, you know me. I'm straight down the middle when it comes to this. Like I said before, this ain't about left or right at this point.
Yeah.
You know, Pam Bundy. I'm going to tell you everything she said. This is where Pam Bundy keeps messing up at. You know, at one point, for a while, I was giving her the benefit of the doubt. I was like, okay, she's under a lot of pressure, you know. I was with everybody else, you know. You gotta understand it's strategy, and you know, I'm like, yeah, sure, you know, I'm with it, right? Okay, this was the recent one, but this was before when the Epstein Files came out. This is what she messed up at, and she knew there's a lot of things she messed up at, right? First, you say, what was it when it first came out when Trump started when they were pushing this? What was it back in 2025, right? Well, last year. Well, you know, it's over. The case is over. Let's move on. That's where they messed up at. That's one. When they started saying we need to move on, this case is closed. There's no more. And that's how I knew. That's when people were getting suspicious. That's number one. And I didn't say nothing. What I did? Well, maybe it's to me to make it look bad when it wasn't. It was really her.
And Congress. Remember Congress? Yes. The whole thing with like all the redactions and they made a whole thing about that.
That's one.
Those guys made a big deal.
That's one thing she did. I'm talking about Pam Bundy right now.
Oh yeah.
She because I have to put her on a blast right now.
Right.
Because she's part of delaying this thing too at this point.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I you know, and then the recent one, the biggest mistake she said, and another thing she messed up at. Well, we convict everybody. The whole system's going to go down because Doge is up right now. We're going to go, bro, that got people furious. It's like at this point, the whole system goes down. People at this point is like, okay, so what are you saying? Are you saying we shouldn't convict everybody so the whole system won't go down? That tells me the system is going to go down regardless, right? This is where she jacked it all up. We're talking about children here. You're coming with a whole stock. Yeah, don't get me wrong. Do I know the majority of people on that island? I'm sure they got a lot of shares in that. We know that. So, but that was a horrible. So what are you saying? Forget justice. Let's protect the. Forget at this moment. No. Forget the kids at this moment. That's what it sounds like she's saying. Of course, that's going to make you look bad, and you can't expect Pam Bundy. She did that to herself. Horrible saying. You come from the stock market. Well, you know, because I know people say, well, you don't understanding. Well, you got to understand what she was saying. Yeah, but that's something you should have never said. And guess what? You were also she was the same person that said last year that there was no more evidence, that it was over. Because she was part of delaying that thing too.
Make 3 million plus documents proving otherwise. That's still redacted,
They redacted. You know why this thing is so hot, Anthony? It's so hot to the point that they have to keep going. Yeah, you're going to have to keep going. This thing is so hot right now. Here's the reality, and it's scary. The American people are not going to move on from this.
Yeah, I think they're doing a lot of good things, but this right here is a black eye on what they're doing as an administration, right?
I agree.
You have to handle this. Handle it.
Gotta
Do your
handle
job
it.
and handle it.
Gotta handle it.
Plain out simple. Just handle it.
Listen, I know that there's a lot of things they have to do for the country,
Rip the Band-Aid off.
but this is where morals come in, sir. Where's your moral integrity at this point? Bro, it's like this ain't about left and right anymore. People, you know why? They are being pressured right now. You know what's going on the island, man? It's more than just prostitution and sexual assault, man. They're doing all these. It's satanic what they were doing in that island, dude. Bro, it's
Satanic ritual abuse.
oh my God, it's sick. I heard you. Did you hear about the story about a little girl that there was a Jeffrey? This is how you know Jeffrey Epstein. This guy was like a high level Satanist. This guy was. He was part of the whole Kabbalah. He was into all that, by the way.
I think he was a Luciferian, actually.
He was
a high level
He was
dude.
into the whole Kabbalah stuff like that. He was definitely into them. He was definitely a Mason. He was into all that. He was like high level, right?
Yeah.
This little girl told him that don't worry, Jesus is gonna that Jesus will protect her. And then the Jesus came protecting and then he came and mocking. He will mock him. They said that when the people used to pray to Jesus, that he used to try to dress up like Jesus and mock him and do horrific stuff to them.
Well, that's what they do in the SRA community. They would dress up like Jesus to commit deep traumatic. We call it disassociation splits in your personality.
Yeah.
Like your mind was split because you're like, what happens with your mind is your mind is like, okay, Jesus, this person who's dressed up like Jesus is doing this to me. And a part of you splits because the trauma is so much. But then there's the part of you like, you begin to have something against Jesus because you experienced an horrific assault with someone dressed up like Jesus trying to attack you. And so this is like literally SRA 101. This is exactly what they do to get their victims to not call upon the name of Jesus to save them or turn to them. They do this. This is like a trick from the kingdom of darkness every time. And it's horrible.
And he would mock. Epstein would mock these. They will mock him. I'm not surprised. This guy's not only he's a Satanist. He's into the whole Kabbalah thing. He's a Zionist. He's one of those Zionist Kabbalah dudes. I'm not surprised at this point. But this was going on the island. Like I said, it was more than just prostitution. This thing was, this thing full blown.
We're talking about cannibalism, blood covenants being done, ritualistic events. We're talking about a major doorways in the spirit being open for high level entities. I mean, this is very strategic, man. Not just physical, but it's very spiritual.
Death cults, dude.
It's strategic what they were trying to do.
Bro, it was like, bro, he would do Jeffrey Epstein, he would use it, but you know what he would use that island when he used to fight all those politicians, very high end people. He would do it. It wasn't they said that it wasn't a purpose it wasn't I don't believe it was a purpose meant. It was used to he would use it to blackmail people so he could get his way.
Yeah.
That just shows you that was the whole purpose. And this guy had ties, bro.
Well, that's why they accuse him of being an intelligence officer for Mossad for that reason.
I heard about
They accuse him of that, and no one's ever going to confirm it publicly, but it is not a far off assumption. It really isn't.
This ain't about politics at this point. I think people that are making it about politics is sick. This is not, this thing is so in the open right now. It's like what you're gonna do. I think if nothing happens, it's gonna be bad for America. Something has to happen. If nothing happens, it's gonna be bad. Because here's the reality. You got the majority of the country, you got 95% of this country. The majority of people, they're not Jesus followers. They don't believe in forgiveness. They're not gonna move on.
No.
Non-believers did not have a sane mindset as a believer.
Right.
As a believer, we know there's evil in the world. You know what? If they don't get justice in this life, they'll eventually get their vengeance. But what I'm speaking, it's going to be dangerous for the country. You can't tell people to move on from this. I don't think they're going to move on at this point. And what I'm seeing, and I'm just going to call for what it is. I believe the evangelical church in America, I think they're making excuses about this at this point. It's sad when I see Christian orthodoxies and Catholics more angry about this,
Right,
than our Protestant brothers and sisters. And I'm not all of them. Not all of them. I'm sure, I'm not saying all of them. I'm not putting everybody. I'm sure they're, but I already know what they're going to say. I've been serving God for so long. I've been hearing this for so long. Well, brother, we can't, there's even the world, brother, we got to be, we need to be focused on this and that. No. When I hear people say that, well, we need to be focused on preaching the gospel, winning souls. Yes, we should. First of all, that's part of the whole thing anyway. That's part of it, regardless. But when I hear that, that's an excuse. I think that's an excuse, in my opinion. It's it's like redacting. It's like, yeah, that basically saying it's a great way of saying, it's a churchy way of saying, I just don't wanna. I don't want to talk about it.
I would say it's the responsibility of the church and whoever's like the leaders of that church, your deacons and your senior pastors and whatnot. It's your responsibility as leaders to address what's going on in the world so that you're the flock, right? The sheep, because you're the shepherd, right?
Yeah.
Should understand how to go about it, how to be responding, how to know even how to think about it in a biblical manner. Like, it is important to talk about things of our society in the church walls.
I follow this guy right on Facebook. This pastor, his name is Pastor Anton Parson, right? The first guy, he got caught following. He's some pastor from Las Vegas, right? There's a church in Las Vegas. First man of God I see speaking about it. I'm like, wow. I had to write a comment and said, thank you, man of God, for actually having a backbone. He was saying it. He said, hey, well, where's the cry about it? And I was looking at his comments. Big excuse. Well, we need to be more, you get those common Christians. Well, we need to be more focused about our own life and our own home. What are you, sick? He said, why we're not crying about that? Where's the outcry?
Mm-hmm.
The outcry. What about these churches? What about these? I'll call them these little false wolf churches, liberal churches, right? That like to scream out racism, right? All right. So where's the cry about this now? You wanna scream racism?
Yeah.
All right. What about my Zionist Christian brothers? Where y'all at in this? Where you at?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's an excuse. I think it's an excuse, in my opinion. It's an excuse. You should be sad for this. You want to know the truth? I like Trump. I admire Trump. Trump needs to. I think they need to keep putting pressure on him. much as I love him, I know people say, but he's being used by God. Let me educate my Christian brothers and sisters. Okay, God's is not gonna come against you because you disagree with somebody that's being used by God. And this is where people need to have an understanding of wisdom. You could be used by God and still be in error. Okay, that's what people need to understand. God's not gonna crush you down because you have one disagreement with the person. You can still make a mistake. Yes. Trump, I think they should, that's me. They need to keep putting pressure on him. They should put pressure on everybody about this. Just keep putting pressure. That's what I say. Put pressure no matter what. I know, we'll be patient, Yeah, we are going to be patient. But I believe you keep putting pressure, because this is why I'm saying this, Anthony. I'm going to say this straight up. This could be bad for America if nothing happens. That's dangerous for everybody.
Yeah, we're already in a time of our nation's history where we're at an all-time high. The citizens do not trust our government. We're very skeptical because of all the garbage that happened in the last 20, 30 years. Now it's coming out to the open. Everyone's seeing what's really happening. So what do you think is going to happen to public trust? And so it's not like, remember during World War II where public trust was extremely high in the government. People believed in the government.
Exactly.
We're in a time where it is not easy to believe in the government. You have to be highly skeptical. You have to question everything.
Of course, I'm sure they want people to move on from this.
Of course.
You can't make a campaign promise about something like this and expect it to go away now. As Christians, we should be trusting more in God. We should be trusting the man in the first place, But at the end, it's not about MAGA. This ain't about Trump. This ain't about, this ain't about politics. This is about the children at the end of the day. I'm not saying Trump is guilty, but let's say even if he was. I would want him to be. See, I don't care. I'm not biased. Let's say if he was. I'm not saying he is, but let's say he was too. Yeah, he need to be put to justice too. I don't care who you are at this point.
Yeah, they need to not be afraid to investigate these suspects. They cannot be afraid. They got to just go do it.
Just do it.
They got to go do it.
System's going to fall. Hey,
we're a country where we can elect new leaders.
First and foremost.
Hey.
What, that system? Hey,
you mean the Masonic system?
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't want that system to fall? Because you're worried about, at that point, that's how many people are guilty. So, should I worry about the children? Should I worry about the children that are being trafficked right now? The poor kids? I always tell people, what if it was your kid? What if that was your daughter? What if that was your son?
Right.
You know what? No, I don't want the system to fall. Forget those kids. That's what you're basically saying. That's that mammon. That don't let mammon come at you like that. That's mammon talking. When I hear people talk, that's mammon right there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh shoot, let me stop. I don't need my money flow. It's like saying, sorry kid, you're gonna have to suffer. I need my money flow. I don't know, I gotta think. That's that mammon right there.
What I think is gonna happen is if they do decide on, let's just shift gears here.
Let's just see.
We're shifting gears. Let's paint a scenario where they actually do go and investigate. You know what's going to happen, David? We're going to see the entertainment industry collapse. Mm-hmm. We're going to see that, which includes movies, includes music industry, includes high level like business, Wall Street type level kind of dudes and gals, right? We're going to see some collapse happen, some volatility happen. That's what happened if we actually see the FBI begin to investigate the claims and the documentation with what's in front of them. We might see Congress on the left and right get arrested if this was to pursue? How would that look, right? I bet you what? I bet you the American people would be happy that it's happening. They're like, yes. Okay, we have some seats open. Let's do another election. Let's elect new leaders and new representatives. Let's do it. Like, we have a system in place to replace bad apples if they are convicted. And, go put them through the court process. That's what we have the process for. Get them in the court. They have to be convicted and, do the process.
Because what kills me? What these people are doing. What these people are doing. The average citizen. Bro, the average citizen, you're going to prison for life for this.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
The average person goes to prison for life for this, bro.
Yeah. Jen Psaki.
Miss Psaki. We saw that there was it leaked out. It was actually on NBC.
Wow, NBC.
That's right. It was on NBC.
Yeah.
One of the fake news mainstream media, fake news media, because they're fake news. But this is how I know that God is doing something in this country. When NBC, this is how I know it's bad when NBC has to report this. Okay, Miss Psaki over here, and Psaki. It was about Hillary Clinton, her and Hillary Clinton, how she was involved in covering it up. The investigation about Hillary Clinton being on that island. It was about all those emails with the whole thing about the child trafficking and stuff like that, about Hillary Clinton being involved in all that. John Psaki was involved in covering that up. I'm just saying.
Wow. NBC. This woman had her own show and everything.
Anyway, she was one of the House speakers for Joe Biden, remember?
Yeah. Man, it's coming out.
I'm just saying. Then you got Hillary Clinton over here trying to cover it. I'm just saying. This thing is coming out. And you know what? I pray that I pray that justice happens. I really pray justice does happen, right? You know what? But at the end of the day, you got to look at it like this. Whatever the outcome is, reputations are already ruined at this point.
Right.
That's what just like, for example, I'm going to end it with this. Just like I'll use the whole Diddy theme, for example, right? We'll use Diddy. I'm not going to go into it, right? We all know, right, Diddy, the justice people didn't get the outcome they wanted with Diddy. But the reputation is ruined. So if, God forbid, let's say something similar like this happens, guess what? The reputations are done.
Oh, yeah.
Right now, I can already see it ruined at this point.
The damage is done.
Their damage is done. There's no way.
She just, it's not related, but she just embarrassed herself overseas.
Oh, yeah.
She has embarrassed herself. And what was it, the Czech Republic? Or yeah, it's the Czech Republic or something.
President Czech Republic, I think so.
Yeah, one of the countries, they just like completely pull an objection on her. Like, well, I don't believe there should be. It's only a boy and girl, right? And he said,
man, a woman.
he said a plain, simple truth, and
it was about about a gender.
It was about genders. Okay, so but she gets exposed. It's just you can see the high level plans of the darkness of power in this nation, where you have the other side going overseas on a international scale to try to disparage, the current administration, and it's just a power struggle, man. And just now, it's like now when I watch it, I'm like, oh, you're doing this is a puppet play. You really don't care about what you're talking about. Exactly. You just want to make the other side look bad. Mm-hmm. And so it's just one of those things. And so I think the United States, our leader that we elected, hey, let's just get these things investigated. Let's roll up whoever is actually going to be rolled up. Do it the right way, by the letter.
That's it.
Let them defend themselves in courts. Let them hire attorneys. Let the process take place. And you know what? At the end of the day, I think we'll be a better country for it, in my opinion.
Amen.
Thanks for listening to episode 48. 300 million plus Epstein Files. Remember to go on Apple and Spotify. Press that follow button. We're on there, guys. Go to our YouTube channel. Press the subscribe, like, and share the V.D.R podcast. It helps support us. If you want some swag, we have some faith merch, like hats like this, hoodies like this. It's in the show notes below. That's how we fund our show. With cool merch. If you like it, please, go in there, click it, and go for it, man. But other than that, thank you, brother. Take us out.
That's it for today's show. Remember, we want to let you know, God bless you all. Jesus loves you. God bless America. We're out.